Long before the world drew borders on Africa, before strangers arrived with books and guns, there was a city built from stone, not with force, but with patience. This city was called Great Zimbabwe, and for centuries, it stood quietly beneath the African sun, watching generations rise, trade, love, and dream. The story of Great Zimbabwe begins not with conquest, but with community. High on the rolling plateau of southern Africa, families gathered around rivers, fields, and cattle. Stone by stone, they built homes, walls, and sacred spaces. Without mortar, without written blueprints, guided only by knowledge passed from hand to hand and heart to heart. Each stone was carefully shaped. Each wall was balanced with perfect precision. No cement, no machines, just human wisdom. At its height, Great Zimbabwe was home to over 20,000 people, a thriving African city long before many European capitals even existed. But this city was not only about beauty. It was about connection. Gold from its lands traveled across deserts and oceans. Traders from Arabia, Persia, India, and China arrived with silk, glass beads, and porcelain. Great Zimbabwe stood at the heart of a global network, quiet, confident, respected, and at the center of it all rose the great enclosure. Tall stone walls curved like a gentle embrace, protecting sacred spaces where leaders ruled and ancestors were honored. Within those walls lived a people who believed leadership was not about dominance, but balance between humans, land, and spirit. Life in Great Zimbabwe was calm and ordered. Children played near stone paths. Women sang as they worked. Elders told stories under starlit skies. And above them all stood the Zimbabwe birds, stone sculptures watching over the city, symbols of guidance, protection, and identity. For hundreds of years, Great Zimbabwe flourished. Then, slowly it faded. Not through fire, not through invasion, but through time. Climate shifts, changing trade routes, and population movement caused the people to leave peacefully, carrying their traditions with them. The city was never destroyed. It was simply remembered, or so Africa thought. When Europeans arrived centuries later and found the massive stone ruins, they were stunned. They could not believe what they saw. A city so advanced, so carefully planned, so powerful, and built in Africa. Instead of asking how, they asked who else. They claimed it must have been built by outsiders. Phoenicians, Arabs, anyone except Africans. The truth was too uncomfortable. Because Great Zimbabwe proved something dangerous, that Africans had built cities, managed trade, mastered engineering, and governed complex societies long before colonization. So history was rewritten. African voices were silenced. Local knowledge dismissed. The builders erased. For decades, the ruins were studied, but never truly listened to. Until African scholars reclaimed the story. They spoke to the land. They followed oral histories. They trusted what the stones had always known. Great Zimbabwe was African, built by the ancestors of the Shona people. Powered by African intelligence, patience, and pride. No mystery, no myth, just truth. Today, when the sun sets over the stone walls, something magical happens. The city seems to breathe again. Tourists walk softly. Birds circle above, and the stones whisper stories of resilience. Great Zimbabwe reminds the world that Africa did not begin with colonization. Africa remembered itself. This city is not lost because it disappeared. It is called lost because the world once refused to see it. But it was always here, standing, waiting, patient. A reminder that greatness does not need permission to exist. And when children ask, who built this? Africa finally answers with a smile, we did.